Check, check. Herzlich willkommen, liebe Leute. Schön, dass ihr dabei geblieben seid. Wir hatten hier eine kleine technische Probleme zu klären und ich musste eine sehr weite Strecke laufen, deswegen schwitze ich schon wieder. Ich habe die Messe in 3 Minuten geschafft, das war gut. Jetzt aber genug davon. Wir haben 2 wunderbare Gäste hier heute am Start von der Firma Media Molecule. Die kennt man unter anderem von Little Big Planet, kennt man vielleicht. Und auch von einem großen neuen Titel, der auf der E3 vorgestellt wurde, Dreams. Aber sie sind hier für Tearaway Unfolded. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to switch to the English language. Rex and Christoph from Media Molecule. Guys, thank you for taking your time and being here.
Pleasure to be here.
How are you doing? First, would you like to introduce yourself? So what are you doing on Tearaway Unfolded and what are your jobs at Media Molecule?
So I'm Rex Kraut and I am lead creative at Media Molecule.
Right.
And I'm Christoph, I'm game designer on Tearaway.
All right, so actually before we hop into the game Tearaway, right? The thing at Media Molecule is it's super hardcore creative stuff what you're doing. Many people say that it's magic somehow. What are you doing there? Just can you subscribe? So how do you work? What's the thing behind this creativity?
I mean, I think there's maybe a misconception that we just jump on micro scooters and cycle around the office and then just have a genius idea out of nowhere and then just go and make it.
That's not true.
Well, not usually.
All right, you got it.
But we did, we work really hard at making our games. But we try and maybe come at them from a slightly different angle. Yeah. We try and think about what excited us about playing stuff when we were children. Yeah. Like maybe not even like thinking about other games at all, but like what was it like to like jump out of a tree into some mud? What was cool about that?
Nice, man.
And then like that feel of like connecting with the ground and that big splash is like oh well I want to make a feeling like that in the game. So. It's kind of getting back to just play and playing around and being creative at the same time.
Yeah. Building up stuff as well. So, and the latest project you're working on actually is Tearaway Unfolded. Yeah. Tearaway is a title that has been out on the PS Vita before, and now there was the decision. All right, this is really so good, and actually you got lots of creative ideas how to use the touchscreen as well. Why not using the DualShock as well and put the whole thing on the PS4, right? Can you tell us something about it? And let's just hop into the game if you would like to, right? Okay, so now we can see Tearaway Unfolded. Everybody, let's jump into the game. And Christoph, maybe you can... Oh, that's a bit weird, right? We have a... Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
So, I mean, like you were saying, Tearaway on the Vita, it was a real love letter to that piece of hardware. Yeah. We just loved it so much. There's so much potential there. So, and we kind of created the whole project out of a game jam of exploring what we could do with the Vita of the back touch and the front touch. Yeah. And we've gone through a very similar process with Tearaway Unfolded of actually looking at the hardware, but not really the hardware as in the processing units, tucked away under your TV. Yeah. The thing that Christoph's holding right here, the DualShock 4, it's really wacky piece of hardware like the Vita. There's a lot of features on there that maybe don't get used that much at the moment. Yeah. And Sony treats us very well and allow us a little bit of time to really play with the hardware that they give us. Yeah. And we just couldn't keep our hands off the DualShock. If we were trying to do it on the PS3, we just couldn't do it because we'd be stuck with just regular traditional buttons.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Whereas for this device, we've got the touchpad on there, we've got the light shining out of the back. That's kind of quite a mad feature to have on a controller. Yeah. So we wanted to come up with gameplay that would actually really make the controller feel like it's part of the game world and it's coming to life in your hands.
Yeah, well, actually, it's part of the story as well, right? The latest trailer you showed up, right? So where you can see the features, what Tearaway and what you guys are working on, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, the intro, the trailer starts, with the shape of the controller, and then you just, have this camera movement out of the controller into this really fancy, really artful world, right? Yeah. So every feature from the DualShock has been built into the game. But not only that, actually, you have this feature with a smart tablet as well, right?
That's right. Yeah.
Apparently, we can't show it here. I'm really sorry for you guys out there because we have problems with the Wi-Fi connection. Yeah. So this is our part. Actually, I do believe you that it's working, right? But can you tell us a bit more about the story of Tearaway Unfolded, please?
Sure. Yeah. So it's all about a messenger in a world made out of paper. You can see, actually, I'll just butt in for a second. Yeah. Christoph here is using the controller as he squeezes the controller. Yeah. You see how the light from the back of the touch. Not touch, what's it called? Light bar. Yeah. Is like shining into the game world. Yeah. You know, a lot of the gameplay we've been coming up with is about the relationship and about the distance between the controller and you outside of the world and the game inside your TV. Yeah. So a lot of the features are about that kind of physical distance and also the connection between the two. So
isn't it hard? I mean, you have to figure out, okay, the haptics, right? And kind of this analog transition to be immersive enough to get into the game. Yeah. How do you work on that? So is it just the metrics and you took the dual shock in your hands and you were shaking and checking out stuff like that?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we kind of poke around with it like it's some kind of alien device that we just dug up, and we're like trying to figure out what its purpose is.
All right.
So like, yeah, for this movement, you see how Christoph's moving the controller and the light is moving around. Yeah. And that's just using the gyros. It's not using the camera, so the camera isn't required.
Yeah, nice.
You know, and it's a nice way to just start in a gentle way with the game and actually have some kind of chaotic gameplay out of it. So. Yeah. As we shine the light into the world, it's very important that it wasn't just like a torch. All of the powers that you have as the player need to be like kind of heavenly. You're like this godlike being outside of the game, being able to interact with it. So we just hypnotized all of those enemies and stuck them down a hole.
Nice. That looks really brilliant. So in the trailer it says the message has to be the messenger.
Yeah.
Right? Good wording for that as well. So can you tell us something about, this is the protagonist, actually this is the guy you're working on, you're steering as a player, right? Can you tell us something about the universe of Tearaway Unfolded again?
Sure. Yeah, so the Tearaway is about a journey with this messenger who is trying to travel through this entire world in order to then reach you, the person playing the game, so that they can deliver a unique message that they've got sealed up in their head. Yeah. There's like a good reason that they've got a big envelope for a head. Yeah. There's something trapped in there that they want to deliver to you. We have two different versions of that messenger. We have Iota, the male messenger, and then Atoir, the female messenger. What have we got on screen at the moment? We're in a cutscene at the moment. I can't see who it is.
Good time though.
So it's Iota. Yeah.
All right.
There he is. We can do a little bit of customization. The whole story and of Tearaway is really kind of encouraging the player to like add to it and customize it. It's not just about customizing the character and ripping its eyes off, as Christoph's currently doing, which is kind of terrifying.
It's not that terrifying. So we get other games in the industry. This is still really neat, man. Nice.
And if we had the app running, I'd be able to like cut out some shapes on the touchpad here and send stuff in. But you can see in our video library, up at the top, we've got some stuff. I don't know who that idiot appearance there was. These are some of the decorations that we've been making using the app today. It's very intuitive. Yeah. One of the reasons for picking paper is that it's a material that we all kind of used when we were kids in school. Very, very simple, just sheet of paper, pair of scissors. You've got 10 seconds to make a shape. And you know, it's not like getting into like hundreds of customization sliders. And you know, I really enjoy playing an RPG where I can customize the character. But sometimes I'm like, do I really want to be adjusting my eyebrow depth and you know all of this stuff? I want to get into the game and just be making stuff. So we've kept all of the customization very snappy, very immediate. So it's kind of up to you how quickly, how much time you spend on that aspect.
Yeah, nice, really nice.
A few more scraps are currently being attacked and thrown down wells.
Yeah, I mean, editor-wise, right? You've been brilliant at Little Big Planet. Oh, dude, can you hear the bass as well? Actually, the fucking sofa is moving right now. I don't know who is responsible for this. We will talk to them later. You showed with Little Big Planet what the editor could be like, right? So, and that was just incredible. So, how far will you get the player to edit? We've seen one feature, right? So, you just talked about it. Apparently, we can't show you guys, and that's really bad. But you can use the tablet as well.
That's
you
right.
said it, so you can shape not only for your character stuff, right? So, in the trailer there's a pad you can use later on, and you can literally paint your pet. Is that right? Is that correct?
Yeah, I mean, if you take a photo with any Android or iOS device, or with the Vita, that image will then go into the game and start replacing the textures in there. One of the kind of advantages of being a world made of paper is that it's kind of like a blank canvas almost, that you can bring your own texture into it.
Nice.
But I think you know, referencing back to Little Big Planet just then. For us, with those titles, what we were exploring was, you know, a kind of a story mode and then a create mode, and they were separate. You know, they didn't overlap. And what we've tried to do with Tearaway is make something where everyone does the creativity as part of the main story. So you end up with a world that's kind of uniquely your own by the time you get to the end of it. But it's a world that you've kind of collaborated on with us, the developers, to make sure that it's something that's got a really strong like flavour and style, and you can see how beautiful it is.
Yeah, pretty much, man, pretty much. So congrats on that. Definitely congrats on that. Can you tell us a bit, how big are the differences from Tearaway, story-wise, from the Vita version to the PlayStation 4 version?
So we've kept the same overall story, but we've put some twists and turns in there. The narrator characters that you might have seen talking just now, they're a lot more present in the game this time round. We've completely rewritten their scripts and re-recorded them and brought out their characters more. We've added in a whole new section where you are battling against the crows. They're like another enemy in the game, and we've brought them out more. The second section of the game, we've given it a new conclusion that's very kind of fourth wall breaking, where essentially the enemies of the game are trying to create their own version of the DualShock 4.
Oh,
so
really?
So they can wrestle, control...
Spoilers!
Is that exclusive? Have you heard about that? That was okay. I'm sorry, I'm not bothering that. Okay, nice.
So yeah, a lot of game stories are obviously about characters trying to take over the world, but these ones are literally trying to take over the world by actually, you know, wresting control away from you, the person playing it, and start using their own controller.
Really, I'm really looking forward to this idea, because, you know, as a usual player, I wanted a game who really tries to kind of get to the analog world and try to take off my control. So, and this is, I get the idea that maybe this is something you try to get into the right direction, right?
Yeah,
pretty
definitely.
good.
Yeah, we really want to play with the fact that it is a game.
Nice.
Yeah, you can see at the moment this is the photography mode where you can take your own photos, share them out online, and something that we've added for Unfolded is a new.
Christoph, you can stay there. That's good, man. Okay, animated GIF lens, nice.
Yeah. So now the way that the world moves is so unique that it felt that we need to be able to let players like share that stuff. And we all love animated GIFs. You know, the internet is just full of them. But instead of maybe just having more cat GIFs online, maybe we could, you know, introduce a few squirrels and other creatures in there.
Nice. Looking really good. I just got one last question, because actually, dude, it's nearly 12 a.m. So, and you got a fully loaded schedule, right? So, one last question. Actually, you can play PS4 games via the Vita. What happens when you play Tearaway Unfolded with the Vita? That is a good question, right?
Yeah, it's a very good question.
So, how does it work? Is it working actually?
Yes, it does.
It does work. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a mad thing to do.
Inception.
Because
it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I had a really strange moment recently where I tried to play the whole game through on the Vita, the PS4 version, using remote play on the Vita, and you know, it's kind of beautiful to see the world and play it on that device again and sort of see it in that context. But you know, obviously the gameplay is being made entirely for PS4 now. So
which just makes sense. But you know, I thought about that. You know, Tearaway was a really brilliant title for the Vita, right? And now with all the new features, getting in remote control and taking it back to the original device. This was just a good question for myself. So how does it work? But it's working apparently.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
So then one last question, and you just can say, you can just nod your heads if you want to. You showed the trailer. I have to ask it. Every journalist in the world, every gamer in the world wants answers. What is dreams then? You can just say it's dreamy stuff if you want to. No.
Yeah. It's definitely forming. I think you'll be seeing a little bit more in Paris Games Week very shortly. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So we'll show off some new stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know, this is Germany. This is the Gamescom. Germans don't dream, actually.
Aww.
No, this is quite accurate. So. All right, so, ladies and gentlemen, this was Media Molecule. Rax and Christoph, thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for your work. We do totally appreciate. Thanks for not just bringing out FPS shooters all the time. Please go ahead. We're really looking forward to Tearaway Unfolded and Dreams as well. And as well, we're looking forward to what's coming up after Dreams. One last question. Virtual reality. 1 point. You're working on virtual reality, right?
We're thinking about it. Yeah.
Good. Because Media Molecule and virtual reality. And with this, I'm gonna stop this interview, and we are really humble for you guys to be here. Have a good time, dudes.
Thank you.
And we just leave you people in the stream at the show just for a short time and this thing around, and then actually I don't have a clue what's coming up next. Maybe I just sit here, or it doesn't matter. Dudes, thank you very much. Wir machen kurz Pause, bis gleich.
Bye.